Hey, terrible kids. Before we get started, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about making your own podcast? Well, if you have, let me tell you about Anchor. It's the best way to create, edit, and distribute your own podcast all from one place. The best part about it? It's free. Yes, it's free, and you can add Spotify music to it. You can make money from your podcast. I'm telling you, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now let's get terrible.
Who's the most terrible of them all? It's Hollywood Lean.
Hello and welcome to Everyone is Terrible. I'm your host, Hollywood Lean. It's my favorite day of the week. It's Taurus season. It's my birthday. It's ruled by Venus, so we need love, pleasure, and beauty. So if you matched with Ben Affleck on Raya, it's him. It's him.
Why did you unmatch me? It's me.
Joining me today in the studio is my friend, colleague, and terrible co-host. He was on just a couple weeks ago, and I asked him back because we got some good shit we're talking about. Lots of things in the Bravo world that's been popping up in the last 24 hours. Here to break it down with me is Zach Peter from the #NoFilter podcast.
Hi, Leanne.
Welcome back.
I'm excited to be back. I feel like you always have such terrible topics, and I can't wait to dissect it all.
Well, let's jump in. Let's start with Caitlyn Jenner's running for California governor. Does she have your vote, Zach?
Listen, I feel like there's a lot to break down with Caitlyn Jenner running. But at this point, we've had, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've had Donald Trump. Like, at this point, fuck it. Let's see. I mean, could things get much worse?
If you're on Tinder, you might run into Matthew Perry. He'll play 20 questions with you. And Chad Michael Murray is doing Hotels.com commercials. The love of my life. He was in Cinderella with Hilary Duff, and now you can have a cameo by him for $70. It's a sad, sad world.
I love that he's doing that, but rejected participating in the Gilmore Girls revival, which every single cast member did. I was so surprised, but I get it. At the time, he was doing Riverdale, and he thought, oh, I'm hot shit.
We're going to talk about it all. Join us on the Patreon to see the full episode with no edits, no cuts. I was just on Zach's podcast, and he recommended everybody join the Patreon, and he has good reason. Zach, tell us why they should join the Patreon.
Please join the Patreon, because when you're listening to this on iTunes or you're just listening to the audio, you get an edited version of the full conversation. So whereas Leanne and I spoke for like over an hour, you got 30 minutes of that conversation. So everyone that came to drag me in the DMs about defending Khloe Kardashian, you need the full context of the conversation.
You guys, I'm actually going back to the basics. Everybody knows that my other love is acting. So without giving too much away, there's going to be a lot of premiering this summer. Let's just say Daddy's back on the saddle, and it's looking really good. I'm very excited to share what's been happening. But I'm here today to break down all the amazing things that are happening in the TV world. You know, Tardy for the Party got canceled. Not that anybody was watching it, but for some reasons, it got 8 seasons. Like, okay, but it's gone now. Zach, thoughts on Tardy for the Party?
I never RSVP'd to that party.
Yeah, so we were never late for it, girl. We weren't even fucking going.
No, but I was at another party on another night, and I had zero interest on seeing that family. And I was like, how did it make it 8 seasons?
Well, Danielle Staub did a sexy dance on Instagram that had us all shaken to our core. She looked like a discombobulated snake. Like, it was just weird. Like, if a snake lost its balance, that's what she looked like. Very weird, very, very desperate. Let's jump into the Big Shot. Bethany has a new show on HBO Max. It's called The Big Shot with Bethany Frankel. It's like The Apprentice, you know, which she competed in with Martha Stewart. Personally, fucking could not stand Bethany the first 2 episodes. She's starting to wear down now. By episode 4, I'm starting to like her again. She has made me laugh. So it's very classic Bethany, but she's just is so fucking polarizing. Like, she should be the definition of that word. I don't know. What do you think about what we've gotten so far?
Overall, I love The Big Show with Bethany Frankel. I think it's a really good show. It's a modern, at first I was kind of like, this is really just The Apprentice that she's trying to redo because she thought it was cute because she did it with Martha Stewart. And now she's like, let me come back and this is going to be a full circle moment. I actually talked to the producers when they were casting the show about potentially joining the show. But I was very honest about like saying, I don't want to work for Bethany. If anything, I would do it to promote my podcast because I don't even know if this job is actually for real. However, when you see Bethany, the talk show, and you see Real Housewives of New York, I think this is the perfect merger because you get reality TV Bethany. You get to see her kind of command a presence that she didn't always get to have on Roni, but that she had on Bethany. And you get to see her, in a medium that merges the two, but that's appropriate for where she's at right now. She doesn't need to be fighting, going on vacations anymore. She's past that point. She doesn't need to be divulging every detail about her relationship and her relationship with her daughter because she's past that point where now she gets to give us little nuggets, but ultimately she gets to drive this train that I think she kills it in. She's a total bitch. She's a total ball buster. She looks fucking hot in every single outfit she rocks on the show. That I'm obsessed with the Bethany that we get. I think her ego is so fucking huge, and you get so many of those moments where you're just like, oh my God, Bethany.
The job isn't fucking real. None of these people are going to actually work for her. She's gone this long doing everything by herself. There's no fucking way she's going to give it to some 25-year-old on a fucking reality show. You've got to be kidding me, Bethany. Like, stop it. Wow, Bethany, wow. That's one of the problems with the fucking show. It's so chaotic. There's no structure. You're wondering what the fuck is going on. She's upstairs spying on everyone at the party. She comes down and eliminates half of the cast based on looks and one fucking response to her question.
Bethany on Martha Stewart's Apprentice was terrible. Like, she was very annoying and chaotic. She had good lines, but I mean, even when Martha Stewart came to do Bethany's talk show, she's like, you were so annoying on that show. She's like, you were an annoying contestant. And Bethany's like, well, that was me, Martha. That's who I am. I'm annoying. Bethany.
She fires another contestant. It's like every 5 minutes, it seems like. She's like, look, I just know I don't want to waste your time. It's just not going to happen. But I just like you so much. Like, why don't you come work for me? So all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a second. Here is where I like Bethany again. You know what I mean? She's given us that full range. We don't like a one-note pony. We don't like, oh, you're just a bitch. Well, guess what? Everyone can be just a bitch. What else you got?
I don't think any of them were even qualified to work the position that she's trying to pimp out. It was nice of her to give Homeboy the job and give him an opportunity. I think that's the only real job that anybody's going to get.
Is an assistant job. Exactly. You're totally on the money. I love when she was like, I hired someone who asked me to go topless at the photo shoot. It was just, I'm like, this bitch is fucking hilarious. Let's move on to Roni, which is back. But did it ever really come back? You know what I mean? Is Leah McSweeney really it? Was she really going to be the catalyst to take it to the next level? Did she elevate this shit? And now we got Ebony. Let's get into it. Zach, what do you think about this? Ebony lets us know who she is right away. Very presentation-wise. She wore the 5 names from the Central Park 5 while walking through Central Park. She's wearing a Howard University sweater with her sorority's name on it, letting us know, girl, I'm educated. I went to a Black university. I am woke. I am here to let everybody know, and I'm here to check Ramona on her shit. So let's get into it. What do you think about Leah's nose job? Does it make her look better?
Sure.
I feel she doesn't look so manly in the face now. Her face is softer.
And so with Leah, I just feel like it's too much. And with Ebony, I like Ebony, but I feel like she's trying very hard. I feel like I haven't been able to make a judgment about Ebony because I want to really see her through. Whereas at the beginning, I loved Leah and I was like, oh yeah, rub the clit. I love this. And now I'm just like, you need to kind of give the housewives a little time to warm up to us and get a full round picture of her. So I don't have any thoughts on Ebony just yet. The first 2 episodes that we've gotten so far, I would give them a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's anything stellar. I don't think anything great. I don't think there's any central storyline that we've been able to connect with yet.
So it's not fully back. Roni's not fully back. It hasn't
come back since Bethany really left.
Yeah. Zach, you know what I have to say about the Ebony thing? I think you can't place a judgment on Ebony yet because she hasn't shown us who she is other than presentation-wise, because she's busy. Yeah. She's too busy judging everybody else. She's coming in silent and observing type. You know what I mean? She's trying to feel everybody out, which is totally normal. But it's also like, who are you? Like, come in and jump into this pool with us or don't. You know what I mean?
The hard part is, from what we've seen of Ebony, she seems like she could be a really good housewife. I wish they had introduced her in like season 6 or 7. And I think she would have been a solid star all the way until now. I think they introduced her a little too late into the dynamic. And now like Ramona, Sonia, and Luann are connected because they're OGs, but they're kind of disconnected from the show because they just don't know what their role is anymore. And you can see that. And as audience members, we're kind of tired of what they bring because they don't really bring anything new. And then Leah just is so young and polarizing that she doesn't quite fit into the dynamic yet. So there's no core chemistry amongst these women. And so I think that's where you're struggling to really fall in love with the cast, because they haven't really given us anything to fall in love with yet.
And you know what? I feel like you liked Leah last season. So did I. Why don't we like her this season? I think I have an answer. We haven't seen any shots of the baby daddy. We haven't seen any shots of her with her daughter. All we've seen her is in that ugly ass pink outfit that's supposed to be like dollar signs or like dollar bills. Like, what the fuck is she wearing? I'm like, crazy. Even, like, Ramona is dressed better than everybody on the damn show. I did miss them. I missed all of them. Even Ramona's evil ass. Sonia's very unhinged. She feels abandoned. And it's when she's thriving, she was not living in that fucking house. She was living in Columbus Circle. Now she's back in the townhouse and she's unhinged again. You guys, I honestly think it stunts her. She goes off the rails when she lives there. It's like it's haunted. And she is a haunted person. And when she goes there, her demons know exactly like where to trap her. She's unhinged again. It's not fun, Sonia. Thoughts?
I agree. I think there's definitely like bad juju, and she needs to get out of the townhouse and sell it, because every time she goes back there, she goes back to that place of being this fragile woman that was, abandoned by her husband, which I think Dorinda would feel very differently about that narrative. But I think she needs a fresh start altogether. And maybe that even means not just leaving the townhouse, but leaving Housewives. Like, I think in order for her to thrive, she needs a whole, fresh, clean break.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills comes back next week. It feels, you guys, it feels good. It feels like we got something to talk about. It feels like I've just been waiting fucking years for Kathy Hilton. I know she's just a friend of, but I'm just such a huge fan. And I've always known that when she would come on, finally we would get to just see Kyle again in that little vulnerable puppy position. I love to see Kyle squirm. I love to see her cry. That's why I loved LVP the most, because she knew how to make fucking Kyle cry so easily. And I love Kim changing her fucking number on Kyle. I just can't wait for Beverly Hills. Predictions on Beverly Hills, Zach?
I agree. I think Kathy's going to come in and really have some BDE and swing it around. Beverly Hills is going to be a great season. I think we're going to start off very quickly. By episode 2, we're already going to have all the drama. I think episode 1 is going to be good because this is where we're going to get the backstory as to why Erica divorces Tom. So I'm curious to see what these first couple of episodes are going to entail for Erica's storyline, because it's going to be well before everything became public.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see, from what I've heard, Lisa Rinna is very much sticking by Erica.
But let's talk about the taglines. Garcelle, if you want a starring role in my life, you better drop the attitude. And then Erica Girardi says, the strongest substance on earth isn't diamonds, it's me.
She could have done something like like a Luann thing. Like the only thing I'm guilty of is.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
You
the only thing I'm guilty of is being fucked by a pirate in Barbados. All right, Dorit Kemsley says, dress like there's no tomorrow, and then tomorrow, do it again. That's cute to me.
This was a solid B. I thought it was cute. It wasn't stellar. It was good. Cute.
It's cute. Yeah, but like in the words of Alyssa Edwards, why be cute when you can be drop dead gorgeous? Kyle Richards, this town is a game of chess, but no one's taken this queen down. Lisa Renna says, my lips are legendary and they will never gloss over the truth. But anyway, Sutton Strack says, anyone who doubts my exquisite manners can kiss my exquisite derriere. And does Sutton really have a great ass?
No, I don't think she has a great ass.
And then the last but not least, the new girl on the block, Crystal Minkoff. Hollywood is full of pretenders and I slay them all. Boring. What else you got other than ugly leather ass pants, girl?
I thought, first of all, I like the leather pants. And second of all, I don't hate this. I think for a first time housewife, it's a solid B. It's not extraordinary, but it's enough to be like, we don't know anything about you.
I don't know. Crystal seems a little dead behind the eyes. She seems like serial killer status to me. A freaking zombie. It's crazy.
That's a little editing. You know, that's editing.
I don't know. She's a little dead behind the eyes, Zach. We'll see. That shit premieres next week on Bravo TV. You guys know how it is. Let's get into the entree, the main dish, the reason we're here. Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm not talking about this season, you guys. This season was shit. The fucking reunion was the most boring thing ever. It was Kenya and Marlo screaming the entire time, and Porsha looking at everyone like, get off my jock. Porsha shocked Instagram when 24 hours ago she released a photo on Instagram with Pauline's husband, you guys. All of a sudden, Portia's engaged to Simon. You guys, if you don't know who Pauline is, she is the Medusa lady in the Halloween episode that was running around like a banshee. Yeah, that bitch. Beautiful. Other than the Medusa costume, if you look back at the other little scenes that she's been in that she really doesn't have that much to say, beautiful girl. She's beautiful. Pauline and Simon announced their divorce on April 22nd, and Porsha and Simon announced their engagement on 5/10, which was yesterday. So it's just like, I know it's a lot to take in right there, but what I think what they're trying to prove is that Porsha is messy. And what they're trying to prove is like, Porsha got into another man's car that was already running, if you know what I mean. She met Pauline, and then now she's saying she's not friends with her. Well, but even though Porsha was at her house like several times on the show, Porsha was there, and now Porsha is with this man who I just found out is worth about $60 million. Porsha has revealed her own timeline in her post. Simon has his own post on it. Pauline has her own, reaction to it, which is, I'm just going to focus on finalizing my divorce, while Portia's over here saying, they're divorced and we were never friends. And Simon's like, I'm just so happy to be here and be married again. Like, it's just, all of them are contradicting. None of them are making sense. But what I know, here are the facts. Porsha is with Pauline's husband now. And everyone's supposed to be okay with this, and we're not supposed to talk about this. I don't think so. Porsha has a 3-part special coming out. Do we know what the fuck that's on? No, we don't. I hope it's on this.
It's so messy. I, as a viewer and as, just somebody that loves all things Bravo, am obsessed with following this because it's so messy and like almost doesn't feel real. It's clear that Porsha and Simon had been talking prior to the divorce, really. Like, they were clear. He was probably flirting and hitting on Porsha, and she was probably like, well, you're still with your wife or whatever. And then that's why come February, when he actually files and it becomes more official, that's why she's like, well, we didn't officially get together until the divorce was finalized, which now we found out that the divorce isn't finalized. It's still in the process. So he's still legally married. But Porsha, like you said, she was in somebody else's car while it was still hot, while the engine was running, and it doesn't look good for her. And I think she had a really great 2020 where everyone fell in love with her and she had a full circle moment of, going from her fall to her rise on Housewives of Atlanta. And now I feel like she's really tanking her relationship because, like, I mean, at least give it 6 months. Like, let's wait for the dust to settle. Like, I think I'm with everybody on Twitter that's like, she has to be pregnant. Like, this is the only logical reason.
She looks pregnant. She's wearing something flowy.
Logical reason. Yeah, she's wearing something flowy.
I mean, they supposedly filed for divorce like a month ago, and then now Portia's engaged to him. It's like, it's crazy. She's like the new J-Lo. It's crazy. Like, we need to start focusing on Porsha and the fact that she can't keep a man, first of all. And for some reason, all the Kenya stans are like so crazy about this on Twitter, trying to prove, like, what are you guys trying to prove? Like, this has nothing to do with Kenya. And if anything, Kenya's got no special out of none of her craziness that's happened. Even this, all her fake marriages and fake stuff, she has got no spinoffs. So you guys don't come for the Queen of Atlanta, which is Porsha right now, okay? She's running the show right now. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest mess that we've had since, like, when have we really had this kind of infidelity on Real Housewives? I can't think of anything.
You've never had someone steal somebody else's husband like this.
Yeah,
they stole Kim's goddamn house, but nobody steal an actual husband yet.
Yeah, this is pretty insane, you guys. It's messy no matter which way you look at it. It doesn't look good. So there has to be some overlap, like Zach said. Porsha had to have been seeing him while he was still married. We talked about this on Zach's show. He literally posted something in January, them being very lovey-dovey. And so we got into the whole conversation of is, like, what does that prove when a couple posts how much they love each other on Instagram? Like, to me, it seems like a red flag. And it's proving to be right, because 29 days later, it didn't
work out. Yeah,
yes.
It's like we have to prove to you, we're trying to convince the world that we're so happy, when at the end of the day, the world doesn't really need convincing. You're really just trying to prove to yourself that your relationship is in a solid place, which we now know it wasn't, it isn't, and it'll never be, probably.
Yeah. You guys, I don't know exactly which episodes like Falling has been on, but I've been seeing them on the Instagram accounts, and there has been scenes where they're all swimming at Falling's house, and Simon's there watching them, and he's like, "Hello, ladies, I just came to say hi." Like, it's very weird, you guys. Like,
my new wife.
I know Portia's saying that she was never friends with her. Girl, you had to have been friends with her. You were at her house more than 3 times. Like, this is crazy.
She was introduced as Porsha's friends. Like, Porsha had a whole backstory about meeting at a barbecue and hitting it off. And there was a backstory to the relationship that was introduced on the show. That was the only way we introduced her on the show, that it doesn't make sense that they weren't actually friends. So Portia's really just trying to distance herself from her so that it doesn't look as messy as it actually is. But
Brandy Glanville all over again, honey. I have been there. I have been Falling. I have been Brandy. So I don't know. We talked about a lot of things, Zach. We talked about Bethany's new show. I do have a nomination for Bethany for Most Terrible for that. I do have a nomination for Nicole from The Big Shot, Bethany's show, for Most Terrible as well, because she was insufferable, like you said. She was annoying, and I just wanted to, I never even went on her Instagram account, because I'm like, I don't care about your fucking Instagram hacks. Like, get out of here. Anybody who calls himself an influencer, I'm suspect of. Then we go to Real Housewives of New York City. It's too early to tell, but it looks like Sonya's going to be the one it's going to be all about her this season in the terrible aspect. She's going to be kind of that Dorinda shadow. I don't know. Any nominations for Most Terrible from New York?
I was going to say DJ Rose, but in New York, I would say Leah. I just feel like she's too much and she's trying too hard, and it's like, make it stop.
My nomination is for Porsha right away. I do have a nomination for Simon from some of my followers. Zach, do you agree? Who are you nominating for most terrible from Real Housewives of Atlanta?
I would say Simon.
I would say Simon too, but we got to throw Portia's ass in there too. It takes two to tango.
I understand that, but it's like then you're blaming the mistress when the husband's the one that technically was 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
But don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
I think it's
when you catch your man in bed with someone else, whose ass do you beat? You usually go for the one that isn't supposed to be in the bed, right?
Yeah. Chloe beat up the hooker in Lamar's hotel room.
Oh my God, Chloe! I love Chloe. She beat up the hooker in Lamar's room.
She did. It was in his book. He remembered that.
That is so fucking funny. All right, well, let's come down to that part of the show where we have to talk about and who we're going to name the most terrible. We only have room for one, and we have a couple nominations. I mean, I think I speak for Zach when we say forget everything else and just go straight for the Atlanta nominations. It's going to be one or the other. I think it's going to be either Simon or Porsha. Zach, what do you think? You're the guest. You go first. Who is most terrible?
It's hard because on my show I said Simon, and now I nominated Simon again. But after hearing your argument, I think I might have to jump ship and give it to Porsha and say maybe she's the most terrible because you were friends with this girl, or you were at least friendly with this girl. And I feel like you could have waited a little longer until the divorce was settled, until the dust had settled, until, even if he was pursuing you and he was a gross pig of a man, you still didn't need to jump right in and engage with him. I think there's a girl code and there was just a level of respect amongst, a peer of yours, maybe not your BFF, but at least somebody that you were friendly with. I think she owed a little bit of respect my vote's going to Porsha.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. My most terrible is for Porsha. We both agreed. So she is the most terrible of the week. Porsha Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta, because you guys, we've all been Brandy Glanville. Not just the drunk one. I'm talking about the one where your boyfriend leaves you, cheats on you first, and then leaves you for that other person. And we've all been now falling from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's just a day player and a guest and a friend of, but she was Porsha's friend of. And she was there because of Porsha. It wasn't like LaToya brought her along. Like, from what I remember, when Pauline came, LaToya attacked her immediately because she was like, who is this other friend of? I'm supposed to be the only friend of this season. So it's all coming back to me now, you guys. Like I said, it does not feel good. It does not feel good. I have been there before, bitches. Porsha is the most terrible. I don't care which way you want to turn the page, bitches. It is what it is. She got into another man's car while it was still running. You don't do that. You got to wait till the fucking engine turns off and the bitch gets out of the car before you jump in the damn car. Because
her panties are still in the glove compartment.
Exactly, bitch. She wasn't even dressed yet. Like, she was still in there getting dressed before she even, it's insane. Zach, thank you so much for coming on. What are you up to these days? What do you want to promote? Where can we find you?
Yeah, I have my podcast, #NoFilter with Zach Peter, which you were just on. It's available on all podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. You can also watch full episodes and clips of the show on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/JustPlainZach. It's always a good time. So come give me a follow at JustPlainZach or follow the show at No Filter with Zach. And yeah, lots of good, fun stuff to come this summer. So get ready. We're going to be getting very lit very soon.
That's so funny. Well, you guys, if you're listening to me, you are a fan, follower, subscriber, and I thank you so much. You guys, I'm sorry that I've been a little absent lately. It's not that I haven't been thinking about you guys. You're on my mind 24/7. How to give you guys the best entertainment and the best Bravo news, the best, hottest celebrity topics of pop culture in the now. But you guys, Daddy's back on the saddle, and he's in front of the camera again. And when I can tell you about that more, I will be telling you all about where you can watch me later on this summer. Back to my first love, which is acting. It's been really great. So just bear with me. I got 3 episodes coming out this week for you guys to make up for it for the birthday week. Before I let you go, Zach, though, we got some Bravo friends that are stopping by the podcast to say hello. All right, well, we have Bronwyn saying happy birthday to me, Bronwyn and Sean.
Happy birthday, Hollywood Lee and Castillo. We Everyone is Terrible podcast.
We do. But
no, you're not terrible. We hope you have the best birthday ever. We love you, Bronwyn.
And Sean.
And the Real Housewives of Orange County. Mwah.
I actually miss Bronwyn. It's been a while since we've seen Bronwyn. So, I like Bronwyn. You like Bronwyn?
I like Sean. I think he's hot and I would have sex with him. But I'm glad that she wished you a happy birthday. I think that's very sweet of her. That's very sweet of her.
Yeah, I love Sean, and Sean knows I love him. We've had cocktails together. I've told them that I would love to have sex with him in front of Bronwyn. She didn't care. Well, Bronwyn, you know where to find us. And then we have one more friend stopping by from the Shaws of Sunset, which is coming out next week. MJ and her chaotic mess coming to say hello to me.
I hope you can hear this. I hope it's recording. I just wanted to tell you to have the best birthday ever. Oh my God. Oh, I just think I lost an earring. What is that? Okay, I'm starting over. I wanted to wish you the best birthday. I hope you have the best year. I'm so glad for all of your... Okay, no, let me start over. Okay. I want to wish you the best birthday. I'm glad that things are back in opening again so that you don't have to be in hibernation for your birthday this year, and keep doing what you're doing because we love it.
MJ's crazy and she's a fucking mess as usual, like that birthday message she just left me. So I can't wait to see her antics on Shaws of Sunset. Thank you to my guest, Zach Peters from the #NoFilter podcast for coming on. Everyone is Terrible is available on all major podcast platforms. You can find the full episode on Patreon. I'm your host, Hollywood Leon. It's my favorite day of the week, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay terrible, kids. Bye.